If you believe that loyalty still matters, if you think family should always come first, then do me a small favor. Hit that like button. It helps more people find these stories, and it tells the algorithm that real emotions matter. Now it's story time. My wife traded our marriage, our kids, and her soul for a millionaire 30 years older than her. Now she's broke, alone, and begging to come back. But let me tell you how we got here. My name is Lionel. I had what most people would call a picture-perfect life. A beautiful wife, Amanda. 3 incredible kids, my son Brandon and my twin daughters, Ivy and Sharon. We lived in a cozy suburban home with laughter filling the halls, movie nights, pancake Sundays, you name it. I worked from home as a marketing developer, pulling long hours but always making time for my family. Amanda worked for one of the most prestigious real estate firms in the city, owned by a silver-haired tycoon named Victor Lancaster, a millionaire 66-year-old who oozed arrogance and influence. I should have known something was off when Amanda started staying late more often, dressing differently, talking less, laughing never. Amanda started coming home later than usual. Nothing crazy, just work ran long, or Victor needed me to go over numbers. She'd brush it off, kiss the kids goodnight, and crash on the couch with a glass of wine. But soon those late nights turned into overnight trips, always last minute, always just her and a few team members, always with Victor. She used to tell me everything, but now I had to ask just to know where she was, and even when I asked, it felt like I was interrogating a stranger. I remember one night clearly. She came home around 11:30 p.m. She smelled like expensive cologne, not her perfume. I asked, "Long meeting?" She froze for a second, just one heartbeat too long, then said, "Yeah, Victor's investors flew in. We had to entertain them." I nodded, but my stomach dropped. From then on, I started noticing all the little things. Her phone never left her hand. She turned off notifications. Her laughter around Victor's name was different. Too light, too effortless. She stopped asking me how my day was. Then came the dressing up. I mean, really dressing up. Makeup at 7 a.m. New dresses showing up on our credit card bill. Jewelry she never wore for me. The first time I asked if something was going on, I did it. Gently, I said, "Hey, everything okay with us?" She looked up from her phone and said, "What do you mean?" "I don't know. You seem distracted lately." Distant. Her smile was almost rehearsed. "It's just work, Lionel. Don't start overthinking." I nodded, trying to believe her. But that night, I barely slept, and the next day, I checked our shared Google Calendar. There was no trip scheduled. There never was. A few days later, I picked up her phone by accident when it buzzed on the counter. The name V flashed across the screen. Not Victor. Just V. Before I could react, she snatched it from my hand. "Don't go through my phone, Lionel," I said. I wasn't. It buzzed. I thought it was mine. She stared at me like I'd committed a crime. But deep down, I already knew. I just didn't have the proof. So I tested her again. I asked, "Is there anything going on between you and Victor?" She scoffed. "Victor? He's 66. He's practically a grandfather." "That doesn't answer the question." She rolled her eyes and walked away. That silence said more than words ever could. From then on, our home felt like a stranger's house. The dinners were silent. The tension, thick. The kids started asking, "Is Mom okay?" And every time Amanda left the house, my heart sank, because I knew exactly where she was going. I just didn't have the courage to face the truth. Not yet. I couldn't live in denial anymore. Every conversation felt fake. Every kiss felt forced. Every time she said, "I love you," it felt like a lie she was telling both of us. So one night, I decided I had to know the truth. I waited until the kids were asleep. I sat her down at the kitchen table, the same table where we used to laugh over burnt waffles and school projects, and I asked again, directly this time, "Are you sleeping with Victor?" She looked up from her tea like I had slapped her. "What?" "You heard me. Are you sleeping with him? She didn't speak, just blinked. Once? Twice? Her hands trembled. Then came the first defense. Lionel, why would you even say that? He's just my boss. I stared into her eyes, searching for something. Guilt, regret, remorse, but all I saw was fear. You come home smelling like him, you lie about business trips, you protect your phone like it's a crime scene. I'm not. Stupid, Amanda. Still, she stayed silent, so I said it again, louder this time. Are you sleeping with him? She looked away and whispered, Yes. It felt like the floor vanished beneath me. 1,000 images flooded my mind. Our wedding day, the births of our kids, her smile at the altar, and every single one felt tainted. I couldn't breathe. How long? I asked. She hesitated. A few months. Are you in love with him? Another pause. I don't know. That hurt even more. Not just because she didn't say no, but because she didn't even care to lie. I didn't mean for this to happen, she added quickly. I was overwhelmed. He listened to me. He made me feel wanted. Wanted? I was raising her kids, cooking meals, holding the house together, working 12-hour days while she played secretary to a millionaire with a God complex, and she had the audacity to say I didn't make her feel wanted. I stood up, pacing. So what now? You leaving? Moving in with him? I don't know, she whispered. I'm confused. Confused? You destroyed this marriage, Amanda. That's not confusion. That's a choice. She started crying. I didn't comfort her. I'd spent too long trying to hold things together while she was busy building a fantasy with another man. For a few days after that, we barely spoke. She stayed out late. Sometimes didn't come home. At all. When she did show up, she'd avoid eye contact. The kids could sense the tension. Brandon asked me if Mommy was mad at us. I said no. She wasn't mad at us. She just didn't want to be here anymore. But here's what crushed me the most. Even after the confession, she didn't stop. She still saw him, still lied to the kids, still came home wearing lipstick I didn't recognize. It was like she had already left the marriage. She just hadn't packed her bags yet. And me? I was still, standing in the wreckage, trying to understand how the woman I loved could throw away everything for a man twice her age with a bank account and a Bentley. By now, Amanda had stopped pretending. The affair was no longer a secret. It was a lifestyle. She didn't care if the kids noticed. She didn't care if I noticed. It was like we were just obstacles in the way of her new fantasy life with Victor, and the more brazen she got, the angrier I became. But I wasn't prepared for what happened next. It was a Saturday afternoon. I was in the kitchen making grilled cheese for the twins. Brandon was playing video games. Then I heard a knock on the door. I wiped my hands and opened it, and there he was, Victor. Standing on my front porch in a $1,000 suit, sunglasses on like he owned the world. He didn't say a word at first, just smirked, then said, I'm here to take Amanda out. If you were in his shoes, what would you have done when she picked him over them? Please, like the video, it's just a simple click. Now, back to the story. No, hello. No, is this a bad time? Just full arrogance. My blood boiled. She's not going anywhere, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. She is, he said, pulling out his phone. And I suggest you don't make a scene. Wouldn't want your neighbors getting the wrong idea. That was it. I stepped out and got in Victor's face. You come to my home where my children live, to take my wife out like this is a damn date night? He smirked again. Your wife? Lionel, she made her choice. I clenched my fists. He leaned in closer and said, Listen, I know people. You think custody is going to be easy for you? I'll make your life very uncomfortable if you don't start complying with what Amanda wants. That was it, I snapped. Didn't even think. My fist moved before my brain caught up. Bam! Clean hit to the jaw. Victor stumbled back, landed on the pavement, sunglasses flying off. Amanda screamed, running over to help him up. I didn't stay to watch. I turned, went inside, grabbed the kids and told them, "Get your bags. We're going on a little trip." 10 minutes later, we were gone. We checked into a modest hotel. 1 room, 2 beds, 1 broken heart. That night, Brandon asked me, "Is Mom leaving us?" I didn't have the strength to lie anymore. I just said, "Mom's making choices right now. But we're going to be okay." I looked at my kids, their sleepy eyes, their innocence, and I knew I couldn't let Amanda or Victor take them from me. The next morning, I did what I should have done weeks ago. I filed for divorce. No more second chances. No more emotional limbo. No more hoping she'd wake up and realize what she was doing. I called my lawyer and told him everything. The affair, the emotional neglect, the threats. Then I found an apartment, not fancy, but warm and safe, and moved in with the kids. We were officially starting over, just the 4 of us. Back at Amanda's end, she didn't even call, not once. No, where are the kids? No, are you okay? No, can we talk? Nothing. Instead, she showed up on social media, arm in arm with Victor at a charity gala, her smile wide, her dress backless, her eyes glittering, with champagne and delusion. She'd chosen her side. She chose him. But little did she know, that choice was going to cost her everything. Starting over wasn't easy. The apartment was smaller, but it was peaceful, and for the first time in months, there was no yelling, no tension, no secrets, just me and the kids, figuring it out together. Brandon started helping with breakfast. Ivy and Sharon would sneak drawings under my office door while I worked. We built a routine, a new life, one full of trust and laughter. There were tough moments too. I'd find Ivy crying at night, clutching her stuffed bunny, whispering, "Why doesn't Mommy call anymore?" I didn't know what to say. Amanda had gone silent. Not one phone call, not a single visit, no birthday cards, no bedtime goodnights. She had fully traded motherhood for moonlight galas and red carpets. And yet, I wasn't angry anymore. I was just tired. The kids needed me more than ever. So I threw myself into being present. We had game nights, backyard picnics, spontaneous movie marathons. I did my daughter's hair for the first time, and it was terrible, but they didn't care. They giggled and called it Daddy's Crazy Ponytail Special. That laugh, that joy, it reminded me what Amanda had abandoned. She hadn't just left me. She walked away from them. And worst of all, she didn't even seem to notice. But then, she emailed me, out of nowhere. Subject line, "Important." I opened it. I think it's, "Time the kids met Victor. He wants to get to know them. I hope you'll support this." I stared at the screen in disbelief. She hadn't called her kids in months, but now wanted to introduce them to the man who broke our home. I replied with one word, no. A few hours later, she called. The first call in weeks, her voice was cold, almost rehearsed. "If you won't agree, I'll take you to court. I'll fight for sole custody." That was the moment I knew. Amanda was no longer the woman I married. She was someone else entirely. Said calmly, "We'll see what the court says. Good luck explaining to the judge why your own children haven't seen you in 2 months." The next weekend, Brandon told me something I'll never forget. He said, "If she takes us away, I'll run away. I don't want to live with a stranger." I knew right then. They had chosen me. Not because I was perfect. Every day, and in the eyes of my children, that made me the only parent who mattered. After Amanda threatened to take me to court for full custody, I braced myself for any battle. She thought she had the upper hand. Victor's money, his legal team, his influence. What she didn't have? Her kids' hearts. And that's what mattered. My lawyer gathered everything. The absence. The emails. Her social media photos partying with Victor. Statements from teachers about the kids' emotional shift after she left. We even had timestamps, showing weeks of no contact. Meanwhile, I had witnesses, neighbors, friends, even Brandon's school counselor, all testifying that I was a full-time, present, responsible parent. When we finally faced the judge, Amanda showed up in a designer blazer, with Victor sitting behind her like some smug bodyguard. She barely looked at the kids. The judge asked Ivy and Sharon if they wanted to live with their mother. Ivy whispered, "She doesn't call us anymore." The judge leaned in. "Do you want to live with her?" They shook their heads. Brandon spoke last, and his words floored the entire courtroom. He said, "She left. My dad didn't. He makes us feel safe." That was the moment Amanda's face cracked. Her eyes watered, not because she was hurt by what they said, but because she knew she'd lost. I got sole custody, not shared. Not 50-50, sole. Victor didn't even look up from his phone when the judge ruled. Amanda didn't follow us out of the courtroom. She just sat there, staring at the table, like she was finally realizing what she'd done. A few months passed. The kids were thriving. Their laughter came back. So did their grades. Amanda? Not so lucky. I heard through mutual friends, and let's be honest, social media, that Victor had moved on. She was no longer arm candy. He found someone younger, fitter, more camera-ready, as they put it. He kicked her out of the company, pulled her car, canceled her cards. She lost it all. No more luxury fundraisers. No more fake smiles for the camera. Just silence. Then one night, I got a call. It was her. I let it ring. She called again. Then texted, "Can we talk?" I didn't respond. The next day, she emailed. Subject, "Please. I made a mistake. I was stupid. Can we try again? I miss the kids. I miss you. Please. Let's just talk." I read it twice, then deleted it. The truth is, you can't rebuild a home from ashes you lit yourself. She had everything, and she threw it away for a fantasy with a man who treated her like a phase. Me, I rebuilt brick by brick. My kids deserved a life built on loyalty, not lies. It had been almost a year since the divorce. The apartment felt like a home now, not just a stopgap. The kids were thriving. I'd started dating again. Nothing serious, but healthy. The past felt distant, like a nightmare I had finally woken up from. But Amanda? She hadn't moved on. One Sunday night, after putting the twins to bed, I got a FaceTime request. Amanda. I almost declined it. But something in me said, "Take it," I answered. Her face popped up. Tired, makeup smudged, a far cry from the glam version I used to see online. Behind her I could see a plain room with no art on the walls, no designer furniture, no Victor. "Hey," she said, her voice cracking. "Can we talk?" I nodded, waiting. I lost everything," she said. "Victor, he found someone else, someone younger. He said I was bad for his image." She looked down. "I don't have a job anymore. I'm crashing at my sister's. I miss my old life. I miss you." I stayed quiet. "I was stupid," she whispered. "I was seduced by money and attention. I ruined everything, but I never stopped loving you." I almost laughed. "You stopped loving me the second you left us." She blinked, stunned. "I didn't leave you," I continued. "You left your family. You left 3 kids who cried themselves to sleep for months. You chose a man who saw you as an accessory." Amanda started crying. I know I did. But I'm not that woman anymore. I want to rebuild. I want to come home." I leaned closer to the camera, calm and clear. "Amanda, the door you walked out of doesn't exist anymore. We've already built a new house without you." Her lip trembled. "Please, just let me see them." I shook my head. "You had your chance. The kids don't want to see you. And I'm done letting your regret interrupt our peace." She broke down completely. I ended the call, and just like that, the final chapter closed. That night, Brandon walked into the living room and asked, "Was that Mom?" I nodded. "What did she want?" I looked at him and said, "She wanted to come back." He thought for a moment, then said, "We're better off without her." I pulled him in for a hug, and for the first time in years, I felt free. I replied to one of her emails. "Amanda, the kids and I are finally happy. I hope you find peace, but we've already found ours." She hasn't messaged me since, so here's what I'll leave you with. Sometimes people don't just fall out of love. They fall into fantasy. And when fantasy fades, all that's left is the wreckage of what they abandoned. She lost everything trying to chase a dream built on lust and money. And me? I got the best ending of all: peace, my kids, and freedom. If you believe betrayal always comes back around, like the video and hit that subscribe button. Ring the bell for more crazy stories turned into emotional roller coasters, and tell me in the comments. Did she get what she deserved? See you in the next story.